Hey guys, it's Aiden here. Um, I'm outside. It's been like raining, thundering, lightning. So I kind of like how that is when you're outside and it's raining and stuff. Um, so this is semi a response video to Brent's video, but technically a response to an email I received back like all in the beginning of August. Uh, by somebody interested in transitioning and how to pretty much deal with the parents aspect of it. I have a couple of videos if you are interested in searching back, dealing with coming out to my mom, coming out to my dad, my friends, even just like parent updates and how my life is going with my own parents. So the reason I didn't, and I wasn't really planning on making this video, was because I didn't know if I was really in any position to give information to parents, because I don't want them to think that I am trying to get your kid to transition. Transition is a very hard thing. I'm not gonna ever say that it's not, because it is, but with the things that are available like YouTube and depending on what area you are in the world, there's different sources for you to get support to make it a little bit easier. um, so I'm just gonna kind of keep it simple, by answering some of the questions he asked, and then also to just kind of throw in a little bit of my own stuff in there. So one of the first things is I have like the email here, so that's why I'm looking at my phone. Um, some of her concerns are, what if I have a chemical imbalance that makes me feel trans? Well, there's no study that's been concluded or, to my knowledge, done, um, saying that it has to do with a chemical imbalance. I mean, there's studies even on depression that have to do with chemical imbalances, but that's not even like 100% sure if that's the reason why. They just know that by giving you antidepressants, which are supposed to help chemicals in your brain distribute more properly, that maybe they are, which is what's making you depressed. Um, there has also been no link to a chemical imbalance due to being gay either. So pretty much there I don't think it's a chemical imbalance. There's no evidence proven, and my whole theory on transition is, if you're depressed before transition and it has nothing to do with the anxiety of being trans and not feeling like you're in the right body, you will be depressed after. If you have bipolar before, then you're gonna have bipolar after. Testosterone and estrogen are not depression killers. You know, if you're, seeing little red elephants in the corner of the room before, you will see it after. The only thing that would change is if you have a lot of dysphoria and that's what's causing your depression or your anger, then, that can definitely subside a lot because you will no longer feel that. Or not nearly to the extent that you were before transitioning. Next question. Um, how are you able to trust the psychologist you go to see? Well, the only way you're able to trust them is to literally talk to them and meet with different ones. And if you're really trying to meet for yourself and for your mother, then maybe your mother should go to one too, or your father should go to one too. Um, or, you guys can go to the same one at the same time and do like a group counseling. I suggest counseling for everybody and anybody, especially before you make a transition, like, you know, uh, taking hormones and stuff. That is like a huge, big transition. You should be going to therapy. I had not a therapist, but I had a doctor, and I was working with a clinic that had therapy there. So every time I went to the doctor, it was also a therapy session. It was like an hour and a half visit to the doctor. Um, Now I do not have a therapist because I do not have insurance, and they don't have anything whatsoever around my town that will take me for free, like they did back home. So I'm working on getting insurance so I could pretty much go to therapy. I mean, of course, other stuff too, but therapy is a big thing for me. Um, so yeah, the only way to trust them is to just go to them, try to get somebody who has experience in transgenderness, gender therapy or whatever. You want to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, and not someone who is trying to convince you out of transition, or somebody trying to convince you into transition. You don't want that at all. um, Next is, what if depression is increased, and what if you want to turn back? Okay, so if depression is increased, it's because you were already depressed, or maybe, like you were saying, sorry, my cat just totally made like a nice little spot to chill on me. Um, so if your depression increases, probably because you were depressed, not about transitioning beforehand. And if you want to turn back, what I can suggest to you, and I'm not a doctor, but what I can suggest is to take an androgen gel, which is a testosterone based gel that you rub usually on your shoulders or somewhere on your body. And the changes are a lot slower than taking it intramuscular, which is the shot into your leg. This will help because you'll be able to see your changes a lot slower, and you'll know, like, all right, I don't want my voice to get deeper, or I thought I wanted facial hair, and I'm starting to get some here, and I don't want it at all. To be a lot easier. I mean, anyone can get off testosterone. That's easy, but the thing is once the changes occur, like if I got off tea right now, my voice would still be this low. Um, Once you expand things, it's hard to retract them. Hence why when you're male to female and you're already really tall, you can't get shorter by taking estrogen. You know, there's some things you can't change, and once you stretch something out, it can't really go back, or it can't go back all the way. Um, so I would suggest like a gel or something. Next, he pretty much says, I'm hoping that you're able to tell her about the positive life you are living as a newborn male and how the change made your life better and fears that you had going into it. I want her to see that you and other guys on YouTube aren't superheroes, that you are everyday guys that are scared and push through fear and the in between times. Um I mean, obviously we're not superheroes. I don't think we even come close to superheroes. Uh, I think in some people's closed-minded eyes, we might actually be seen as villains and not superheroes. So, you know, I am such a normal guy. It's kind of gross. Like, I probably could be not more of a normal guy. I mean, as far as like I don't do anything over the top. Like, I'm not crazy partier. I don't suffer from depression. You know, I have a car and cats and an apartment and a fiance who totally accepts me. I have a mother who loves me exactly who I am, and I have a father who is so in between. He doesn't really know what he feels about my transition. I only just, me and him didn't really have too close of a relationship, and we still don't, but I think that he's noticing after I transition that maybe we both need to work harder at improving that relationship, because I feel like he didn't know me who I was before I transitioned, and now he really doesn't not know who I am. I mean, to an extent, we're both trying to work through it, and I did move away a year ago, so it's really hard to have not a close relationship and then move away and try to keep it even the little bit of closeness that you might have already had. So, I have videos about my dad, and I have videos and videos and videos. I have like over 90 videos, I think. And I mean, a lot of them have nothing to do with physical transitioning. A lot of them are, I mean, I try to base this channel on emotional transition. Um, it is so you have no control over the physical transition. You start growing facial hair, okay, it's not about what's on the outside. It's about how the fuck do you feel, sorry, how do you feel inside about growing facial hair? How do you feel about waking up in the morning and looking at a face that is totally different than the face you looked at for the other 20 some odd years? And how do you deal with making friends, and how do you deal with liking yourself again? you know um I made sure before I started transition that I was in a very good place emotionally. I liked who I was. I just knew that something wasn't right. I never had that uber feeling of being five and being in the wrong body, because I was in the body I was given, and I was pretty much accepted. I mean, in sixth grade, I told my mom I liked someone, and the first thing she told me was, "Is it a boy or a girl?" Because I think that when a child isn't in the right state, or their normal state, how society would view them, people are very aware of that. I mean, if a boy picks out a purple balloon instead of a blue one, people are very, very aware. It's almost sad how aware they are, because it just means that they're trying to push these kids, or they're judging a 5-year old. I mean, the 5-year old could be the star quarterback. He just likes pink. You know what I mean? He's 5. He likes pink. You know, it's really not a big deal. You know, I had signs like that when I was little, but nobody took in account being trans. I mean, it just wasn't heard of, and it's still not that heard of now. You know, People don't think that there's guys and girls out there living this life already, and have been for years and decades. People just think that, people are just starting to do this. Oh, Chaz Bono came out. He made a big step for us, and I thank him. But, just like he's mentioned in interviews that I've seen, people have been living like this way before him, and way before me, and way before the older guy I look up to. So I mean, transition is hard, and it's hard to fit and understand everything that's going on. It just is, period, end of conversation. But the more you work on it, and the more you realize what you want out of life, and you get that confidence to go out and get it, the happier you're gonna be, you know. And that's it. And is transition, non-transitioning, gay, straight, bi, gender queer, asexual. It doesn't really matter what or who or color or sex, orientation, gender, nothing. It's just about being okay with yourself, and by getting the confidence of being good with yourself, you're going to be so much better to the world and the people in it. Um, that's all the advice I can give. Besides, check out my channel, check out other guys' channel, you know, Google stuff, get educated. Education is key. Um, yeah, and man, I mean, I made this video for you and your mom, and I hope it helped, even in this much. I really do. So, everybody else who watched it, thanks for watching. If you have anybody you want to show this video to, go for it. Show them other videos. Open yourself up so that they can understand you better. All right, that's it. Peace out, guys.